Happy Tuesday to you guys. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday, April 28th. BP came out with earnings. National Oil Varco came out with earnings. NOV. If you guys been watching, this is part of the problem right now with producing stocks. They're going to have a mildly okay first quarter, and then it's all about to come winding down. Looney, the CEO of BP, was on CNBC, made some really good comments to give you an idea what's happening to all the service companies. I think they're going to go first. Um, they've got 13 rigs working in the United States right now. He is expecting to go down to one or two. They're in the Haynesville, Permian, and Eagleford, I believe. Not sure if they're still drilling in the Balkan, but that's here nor there. They're going to drop down to one or two rigs. National Oil Varco, NOV, typical loss, but it wasn't near nothing yet. Going over some of the numbers. Like Halliburton, etc. Vast majority of their money is made in completions, drilling, and evaluation. So they lost $1 billion first quarter. Expect that number to be astronomical second quarter and third quarter. They spent massive amounts of money first quarter on share buybacks. I hope they don't do that anymore. They lost a lot of money on that. And just a bad deal in general. NOV, ticker NOV, they're another problem child. I don't like them. If they're service related, I don't like them. Not good. Jim Cramer, by the way, donkey of the day. Donkey of the day, Jim Cramer, last evening, was recommending, quote unquote, producing stocks. I don't know what he's thinking. I think he kind of got suckered into it. But yeah, he's catching a lot of help from EFT Group on Twitter. I think he blocked Energy Cynic at Energy Cynic, big EFT guy, but he's getting brutalized. There's some profit taken in tankers, no surprise. Scorpio Tankers, one of the ones I like, was down. It closed down 1.5% or so. Navius. Anybody know how to pronounce that, by the way? Navius Maritime, NNA is the ticker. Another tanker I like. They're down about 3%. Granted, they ran up how many percent yesterday? And Tesla. My three wise men, Tesla, Scorpio Tankers, and Navios Maritime, all had a little bit pullback. But one question I've got, ProPetro, PUMP, pump is the ticker. I do not know why they are going up. Up 6.5% today. It's a, excuse me, I had a sneeze. Not sure why they're going up, honestly. It's a service company. Service companies are losing money first quarter, and they are going to get busted out in the second and third quarter. I went on a limb on StockTwits. If you follow me on StockTwits at Johnny Tyler, I think Halliburton will announce restructuring within the next 45 days. Either they're hiring experts to look at it and or actually just file restructuring. I think the next 30 days is when all the lights are going to get turned out. You look at Halliburton, ProPetro, all these companies on their books, they have all these assets, but in reality, these assets are worthless if you don't have a buyer. And the major Halliburtons of the world, they have all these pumping units, just cementing units, all these you can't. They're scrap. They're worth scrap if you don't have a buyer. So I don't know. I do not know why they keep going up. It was mentioned that a guy bought $3 million worth of shares last week from Halliburton. That guy, if you look at his history of buying, he hadn't had the best of luck. He also bought 2 years ago when it was $40. And yeah, I don't know. The pianist Apache, $8 billion in debt, but could their assets make their share a bargain? Is what commentators on Yahoo Finance say. But how to know the value of an oil company's hard assets? Well, their assets are. I mean, they're not. I posted yesterday, um, or the day before, talking about their Suriname discovery. They made this massive discovery and then sold half the 50% of the project basically to Total. Total, by the way, had a dry hole announcement yesterday off the coast of Lebanon, a major gas play they're going after. So that does not look promising for them. On a side note, but Apache, I don't see any value in Apache. They are more than likely a restructure. I believe last year, Chrisman, whatever the hell is the CEO's name is, made more money than the EOG CEO, which is beyond belief, considering they had $1 billion loss on Alpine. That only took 3 or 4 years for him to finally admit that was bad. Um, there's a lot of speculation on the Suriname that the country of Suriname, I guess I'm pronouncing Suriname, Suriname. I guess I'm pronouncing it right, but Guyana and Suriname could get into a legal dispute over Apache's block. There will be blood drainage deal, so there could be an issue there as well. Just to recap, only ones I like right now, and people keep asking me about tankers. If their numbers have been good, no issues, then they're probably good. But I like Scorpio Tankers, STNG, and Navios Maritime, ticker NNA. And then I like Tesla too. And I got a bet with Joe now, $50. I think Tesla will hit 1,400 by October. You're welcome. It's earnings time, so there's going to be a lot. Like I've been saying from the get go, guys. A lot of these companies are probably going to pop because their earnings for first quarter aren't too bad. Vast majority of them saw an average oil price in the high 40s to low 50s, so their earnings will not look near as bad as they're going to be. Future fuels. There are a lot of calls for the United States to kill the ethanol mandates, the biofuel mandates that are crippling refiners, etc., that would hurt Future Fuel Corp badly. Yeah, for sure. 2% drop. It 3% drop. Ring Energy is back over 70 cents a share. Holy crap. And yeah, it's a wild bet. Well, price of oil, a lot of the companies weren't technically making money as it was. These companies were out paying 25,000 an acre for leases. So you figure 1,280 acres. They're spending $20 million for one block, I guess you could say. It's technically two 640s, but they're spending all this money on the acreage, and then they're spending $6 to $12 million per well. So they're putting $70 million in the 1,200 acres at $100 oil. A lot of guys weren't really making money because of the debt structure, and now you got companies uh, basically using new debt to pay off old debt like a Ponzi scheme, and sooner or later it's gonna run out. Valeris, I'd have to look into them. I don't know them enough to talk about them. I try not to talk about companies I don't know. I can definitely look at them and possibly make a video for you, though. I try not to talk out of my ass. I'm pretty good at it on all the other subjects, but giving advice to people on here, I don't want to be putting people's finances in jeopardy from my own opinions that are based on nothing. But yeah, Mark, I like Tesla. I got a $50 bet. I've been long Tesla for a while. I think their chip, their data, all of that is going to be very, very big. And their battery tech, this new battery tech they're working on, sounds insane. The biggest problem Teslas have, of course, are the batteries. Energy density. Think of energy density. 1 gallon of gasoline is equal to like 33 kilowatt hours of energy. So their energy density, their battery basically holds 3 gallons of gas. And that's something they're working on substantially, because in order to get into the Tesla semi game and take over that market, they've got to get the batteries more power, less weight. And until they do that, they can't break into that market. But also, you know, better and cheaper batteries will allow them to break into the single mom shops and average consumer shops. So, but yeah, I got a $50 bet with Joe. Tesla will hit 1,400. It doesn't have to stay at 1,400. Just got to hit 1,400 by October. I see nothing holding Tesla back from hitting that number. After all the Robinhood people lose a bunch of money on oil and gas producers from watching Donkey of the Day Jim Cramer, maybe they'll all pile into they'll pile into Tesla. But I do like Tesla, and an argument can be made that their data on these cars, like think of how much data your phone takes in a day. Now imagine a car taking that same amount of data, millions and millions of miles of data, and it's taking data points, just all the various areas of cars driving all these roads. The value in that, to be able to license it out to, well, they wouldn't license it probably to General Motors, but say license it out to Nvidia for chip. I mean, that's crazy, because what their chip is doing, and there's a great video of Elon Musk on it, but he's talking about LiDAR is not the answer. That's one big problem all the other companies were doing, was using LiDAR, not cameras. But the chip, literally, whenever there's an issue reported on the autopilot, the supercomputer learning, higher learning, AI, whatever you want to call it, literally can go into this massive data room and pull up every scenario similar and learn how to come over that. And when you're talking about advancement, having access to that much data is crazy. It's like Google. We are watching Google in the beginning phases and their data. Tesla is the same thing for cars, and that data is going to carry a value of you can't quantify the value of the Tesla data, in my opinion. On top of their car cells, battery cells, and this new battery, the greatest thing they did was make the Gigafactory because it kind of gives them a monopoly on batteries. Because if you come up with a better battery, are you going to try to build it on your own and get crushed? Or are you going to go over to Tesla and say, hey guys, I got a new idea. Would you like to license it out? And then Tesla licenses it out, changes it up, and then goes. So they will be on the forefront of battery tech. All these other companies want to compete with them. The batteries are the biggest issue that they're going to have to overcome on the price point. Nobody can do it as cheap as Elon Musk currently, and that goes in line with the chip too. So um, I like them. I think 1,400 is doable by October. It's why I'm betting a gift card. I guess we're betting food gift cards because I don't know where Joe lives, but oh man, tankers seem to pull back a bit today. Just taking a breath, or was that something behind it? I don't think anything behind it. I just think people taking profits. I tell everybody take profits. Like, don't get greedy. You had a run up. Scorpio tankers. I mentioned them. I think 2 weeks ago on my podcast. I'm long on them. I like them. They are my war daddy, and I think they're up 35-40% since that. So I mean, if you got in on tankers and you're up 35-40%, and you haven't taken some of those profits to lock in the money, then you're playing a risky game because it can all be given back. But I still hold that unless it is completely and crazy overbought, tankers stock price should all peak around second quarter earnings, because these tankers literally, you've got tankers transporting, obviously, but you also have tankers that are parked off the coast capable of holding 2 million barrels of oil, and they're getting paid anywhere from $3 to $7 a barrel just to sit there. They're not running. Skeleton crews. I mean, you want to talk about a cash register? They are just printing money on those ships right now in storage. So I think second quarter earnings is when you will see kind of the peak of their share price, and then it'll start to taper off. But take profits all the way. Ramazan, good to meet you, mechanical engineer. What is the best price for an oil well and its average acres? Right now, I'm not sure what the best price is, because the problem is May 1st, and this is another thing that's irritate me, because oil companies are not telling their shareholders, all the gatherers, all the oil buyers. It's called a P4. If you go like to Texas Railroad Commission, you fill out basically the buyer report. All the buyers are sending letters to operators saying, hey, May 1st, we're not buying oil until further notice. But none of the operators, none of the publicly traded companies are releasing this in bold print to their shareholders. Um, Cushing should fill up here shortly. So if you've watched my podcast, um, when Cushing fills up, there is going to be a mother, you know what, of a short on gatherers as well. Still putting together that idea, but we have to get a better idea of where Cushing and storage in general is, and we have to know what the Railroad Commission is going to do with temporary storage. There may be the potential that it is being highly floated that they will allow operators to dig big frac pits that can hold 30,000 barrels of oil. If they do that, then that changes a lot of scenarios. So, you know, going short on gatherers is still early, and that's why I'm holding off on that. But as far as buying buying oil wells right now, there still is it's just too hard of a price. And to that point, I've got a video coming out this week on how to value an oil well, and it should give you clarity on what you need to know and where you need to be on it as far as production. And I think it'll be a big help to that. But great question. Yeah, Mark, I like Tesla for sure at 1400. Yeah, the solid state, that's what they're working on right now. And rumor mill is that they've actually got a very good looking uh, solid state what a prototype. And remember, like I said, being that little monopoly they have now on batteries, guys that have working in their garages, wherever, labs, they're not going to go out and try to compete with Tesla when they can sell them a license and then get 10 cents every battery down the road. So they have a great position on battery markets. Yeah, I still think gas would be more essential for cars, but you know, the thing about Tesla is that they are just I don't know if y'all have never ridden in a Tesla, guys, you got to try it because they are insane. It's like a rocket ship. Uh, it's got the autopilot where it drives on its own. Like this is the future of cars. Ford, GM, maybe they'll all be like this, but the general consensus is Teslas are just freaking cool. And it's becoming one of those things like Starbucks, Apple, iPhones, and iPods, which people are just going to want them to be cool. And if you can provide a badass product that everybody thinks is cool on top of it, you've got a home run in sales. So, and an unfair advantage they have, which I don't know if they're going to change it, but they don't have to deal with dealerships. They are direct to consumer and they're keeping all the freaking money. So that's another thing. You're welcome. Yeah, that video should be out Thursday. And I got a video coming out on Dave Ramsey. I love him. God bless him. But he said a couple things wrong on a video the other day about oil going negative. I got to clear up his video so he doesn't look so bad. He looks horrible in that video. Smart dude. You know, he's helped a lot of people, but man, he said some false information on that video. So I'm going to make a help Dave out, clear up the uh, bad statements on that. All right, guys. Recap: BP earnings 800 million. They made 800 million bucks. Like I've been saying, first quarter, most producers are probably going to have a quote unquote good looking quarter. So don't get trapped in that. I think it's a trap going to catch a lot of people buying into them thinking the worst is over when it hadn't even got started yet. So when will crude bottom? Uh, it will be, I think we'll see negative again. We'll see negative oil like this week again, I think, or very close to it. And we'll see negative at least one more time. Texas is opening up Friday, and I can only assume that that is going. Well, there's two scenarios: they open up, realize it was bad, and then shut back down, or they open up and then everybody says, "Screw it, let's all open up." So if everybody opens up, you'll start seeing the oversupply come down, but you've still got a billion barrels to unwind into it. And at most, what you, if you're lucky, you can will be on able to unwind 1 million barrels a day, 2 million maybe. So, um, you know, say 1.2 billion barrels unwound at 2 million barrels a day is bad. LNG is bad too. Um, Energy Intel on Twitter just came out with another article. Asia continues to cancel LNG imports, so that's another one that's getting hit. But yeah, and Texas is opening, but it's like it's the most bullshit open I've ever heard. Where it's like restaurants can only have 25% of their capacity, which a lot of restaurants. I've talked to several guys that have restaurants, and they say it's not even worth opening. They'd lose money only having 25% of the people in there. It doesn't work for them. So I think theaters are the same way. I don't know if theaters will bother opening up if they've got to be 25% capacity. So it's kind of stupid, but we got tornadoes tonight in Texas and Oklahoma. I'm in Texas, but Oklahoma's got tornadoes too. So it should be a fun night. I may travel to Oz tonight. I don't know, guys. But thanks for watching, guys. And please like, subscribe, share. And then, as always, leave comments on stuff you want to see. Follow me on Twitter at Joshua Pollard. Yep, all the parks are opening up. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.